Welcome or welcome back to Mrs. F's Finances. I'm Mrs. F, but you can call me Molly. I'm so glad you're here. Since the last time that I updated, I believe it was the end of April, we have so many more new budget besties that have joined the channel. So I thought it would be a perfect time for a little reintroduction. I am a wife, a mom, a full-time student, and I'm about to wrap up my master's degree in library and information science with a focus in archival studies and records management. I also work full-time at an archive right here in Alabama. I have one amazing kiddo still at home. She's actually going to be graduating high school a year and a half early because she's just that driven. Seriously, I think she has the motivation of 7 teenagers. Before I met my husband, though, I was a single mom, just doing my best. Like so many of us, I have never really been taught about money or how to manage money. I was constantly flying by the seat of my pants, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and just kind of hoping things work out for the best. My husband and I have been together for 5 years now. He actually has 7 children of his own, so I have 7 bonus kiddos. And over the past year or so, we have really made a conscious effort to get on the same page financially and start tracking our debt and tackling it head on. So that brings us into this video, our June debt update. Let's get into the numbers and see what progress we made, if any at all. I did not track it in the month of May, to be quite honest with you. I travel 3 hours each direction for work, commute every day, and then I work a full schedule on top of that. And I still do homework every day. And quite honestly, the budget fell by the wayside. The last update in April, we had $287.13 on my first credit card. Zoom me in here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, $253.05 for the second credit card, $34.50.78 for our loan, $993.74 for teeth, $64.26.30 for my car, $10,363.52 for my husband's car, and $92.89.81 for a personal debt. So all in all, it was $31,046.33 minus that personal, which is phase 1.5 of our debt payoff plan. That totals out to $21,756.52. Our minimum payment, $30 for the credit card number 1, $25 for credit card number 2, $171.39 for a loan, $265.92, $316.59, $342.18, and we're not currently paying on this personal debt. All right, so we did make those minimum payments aside from credit card number 1, and that is because we had some things happen at the end of June that took a bit more money. So as a part of this commute, we had my car that completely broke down, and by completely broke down, will not drive faster than 25 miles an hour. It is in limp mode currently. It's a Nissan Altima, and the way that engine works is if for some reason the car detects an issue, it will put it in limp mode and it will not allow it to go more than 25-30 miles an hour. I was able to get off the highway in time before it completely stopped moving, and was able to get it to a Pep Boys where they told me, oh, no worries, it just needs oil change. And I was like, sure, no problem, let's get that going. I got the oil change and I went to drive away and it still would not drive. I got not even half a mile down the road to a AutoZone and they're like, oh, you need a filter. And so I got a filter, and that also did not help. And they're like, oh, well, it could be one of these 2 other things because when we checked it, this is what it's telling you, so you need. One of the sensors is a mass airflow intake sensor, which is about $200. However, if we go to a pull-apart place here near to us, it's $30 if we can find a car that has the same year and model of my car or that has the same part equivalent. The other part of that is if it's not that, then it could be the a catalytic converter, which is about $2,700. So we're hoping that that is not the case and that this is going to be an easy fix. But that minimum payment of $30 for credit card number 1 went to helping to pay for the oil change and the filter. And the payment's just going to have to be pushed to the next month. The reason for the double payment on my car is because in the month of May, I did not get a full paycheck. Ending my last job and starting my new job, I only got half of a paycheck on my last paycheck from my other job, and literally 2 days of pay on my paycheck for the first pay, which would have been the middle of the month. And so because of me not really having a income, we had to push a lot of the bills to June. And so because of that, I was again playing robbing Peter to pay Paul in this instance of trying to play catch up. And so my car payment for the month of May got pushed to June. And so that is the reason why there is that double. So total pay this month for debt was $1,437.67. With that being said, we also put a lot of money back on the credit cards. New balance $498.34, $418.39. The loan is now down to $3,376.60. Teeth is down to $511.38. My goal is to pay this completely off, hopefully in July, and if not in July, in August. So that will be one less bill. My new balance is $5,927.66. My husband's car balance, $9,823.51. And we did get a bill for the personal showing that it is $9,859.24. So total is $30,415.12. This is still down from the $31,000, even though we had increases on these 3 debts. Minus the personal, it is down to $20,555.88. So for the month of June, we paid off 4.04%. We lost interest $237.55. And since we started paying off our debts and trying to really get a handle on it, we have paid off 30.8% of our debt. So on to this next view here. The starting balance in January, you can see that we have gone up some, gone down some, and we have gone down significantly for my teeth, which is fantastic. And like I said, we are hoping to get that paid off by August at the latest. And our car payment, and starting in January, we had $37,132.26, and we are down to $30,000. Again, $25,000 minus the personal debt, now down to $20,000. My student loans have gone up again, which is expected because I am still in school. And there have been several comments recently by besties who may very well have the best intentions about whether or not I should still be in school. And I'd like to address that momentarily. I am going to finish my courses, and if that means that I'm going to go into more debt to be in a profession, one that I enjoy immensely, because not only do I get to research daily, I'm helping patrons at my archive with their genealogy research, and it is really, really, really rewarding. I was previously working in the medical field, doing authorizations for medications, for procedures, and I didn't love it. I absolutely hated it. I was on the phone with insurance companies trying to obtain authorizations. They were denying it as not medically necessary, some of them as not medically necessary, although providers were saying what is necessary, and having to fight with insurance companies, and I just mentally, physically, emotionally could not do it any longer. And I have worked really hard over the last 12 years, previously being a single mom and now not being a single mom, having a double income household, to obtain my undergraduate. It literally took me 12 years. I took onesies and twosies and classes here and there, and I was just trying to make it and provide a better life for my daughter. And now I have found a profession that I absolutely love and adore. And to be a part of that profession, I have to have a master's degree. Most places, or archives anyway, will not allow you to just have a bachelor's degree. And not only do they not want you to have just a bachelor's degree, they want you to have at least 5 years experience just getting into the profession. And I found a position that did not require the 5 years of experience and allowed me to have started my master's degree, not completed it, and that is where I'm working now. So I'm not going to stand aside and pay off my debt to hopefully complete my courses down the road, because I will be done with my courses in October. There is no point for me to quit school 2.5 months away from being done. That boggles my mind. So I do have debt all the way back from 2014, where these all come in, and they are still gaining interest. As you see, they're still going up, some of them. These last two are from my master's. This is from the first year that I was in, and this is now starting the next year. This will probably go up to close to $10,000 with my last semester of courses. So I'm probably going to end up with about $80,000 in debt in student loans. Now, I will not graduate until December, which means that I will have a 6-month grace period between December and next July before I have to start paying on them. And I'm going to be using that time to pay this off before I have to really jump into this. And that's the goal, is to get all of these paid off by next July before I have to start paying on the student loans. Now, for collections, my collections have gone down, and that is because some things have fallen off my credit. So I owe $3,735 for collections for both my husband and I. And we have been talking over recently on whether or not just going ahead and paying those off before we get to my student loans. And we'll get into that more next month as to the reason why that's going to potentially be happening, because there are some more updates that I have not gotten into. We're going to discuss more in July, because things have not really been set in stone yet. So overall, our debt starting in January was $101,399.79. And our new debt number is $108,779.03. So the reason why I look at this and I don't feel completely crushed by $109,000 worth of debt is because we are making progress. On phase 1, granted, but it is still progress. And that to me is huge, because if I see just this number and I'm like, holy moly, we're in debt up to our eyeballs. And granted, I'm adding to it, and this is on me. And then holy moly, 6 months later, we have $7,500 more worth of debt. I would be completely crushed, because I am overlooking the progress that we are making. It's not leaps and bounds at all. It's baby steps the whole entire way. And you guys have been so very encouraging, and I have really, really appreciated your sweet messages, and some of you that have really been sticking out for me in the comments. And if it weren't for you guys, I would a major depressive funk, because that is a lot of money, and that it's not fun to see. But we're going to move on to the next page that I have printed out for you guys. And this is our quarterly update. So again, we get into quarter 2 balance update for phase 1 and 1.5. We have quarter 1 and quarter 2 of student loans phase 2. Our collections have remained the same from the end of quarter 1 and the end of quarter 2. And then we have our starting debt balance of $101,399.80. It did go up slightly in quarter one to $102,875.88. And then quarter two at the end, $108,779.03. So we have been making progress. You know, debt has gone up. These debts have gone down. Again, debts have stayed the same or gone up. And then the collections have gone down. That is where we stand for our debt. So now that we have those numbers set apart, let's get into our debt trackers. I'm going to zoom back out just a hair so you guys can see what I'm doing. So as of, we're going to say today is the 28th. I'm not going to worry about payments and whatnot. I'm just going to update the balances. So this one is $498.34 for my credit card number 1. Credit card number 2, $628.25, and the balance is $418.39. For our loan, $628.25, and the balance is $3,376.60. We are almost at 10%. And then $628.25, and the balance is $511.38. So we are almost at 70% paid off. That is so exciting. So my car, $628.25, is now at $5,927.66. Oh, so stinking close by like $9. All right, that's okay. Because in July we're gonna get to that 20% and we're gonna color that in. My husband's car, $628.25. New balance is $9,823.51. So we have finally paid off 10% of his car since we started keeping track. All right, we got to color one in. That's so stinking exciting. I'm sure you guys are like, Molly, it's fine. We're being over dramatic. All right, so I went ahead and put 7-1, but it is 628. It doesn't really matter. Our new balance is $9,859.54. So that wraps up our June debt update. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, whether you're just starting your financial journey or you've been at this for a while. I hope that this update reminds you that progress is progress, no matter how big or how small. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any updates. I'd love to hear how your month went. Drop me a comment. Let's cheer each other on. This community does mean the world to me. And I am so very grateful to have you and so many more new budget besties walking this journey with me. Thank you again for watching, and until next time. Bye, guys.